Welcome to Viibemaa, our farmstead in Estonia. Summertime. Bees buzzing, dragonflies dancing around. I felt wonder for all the wildflowers that came and went by. Many plants I hadn't observed before. Warm and dry summer days were presented to us this month. Many days the temperature was between 25 to 30 degrees Celsius in this corner of the world. Luckily the coast with its breezes of fresh air and gentle waves isn't too far of a distance from our place in the forest to occasionally escape to. Lately I have been reflecting on my little art business called Forest Edge Atelier and my wish to let it grow to the next level. I had the pleasure this month to start selling my prints in a local farm where they produce handmade soap and have the cutest shop in the summertime. I had to make some stock though, because I don't have many prints at hand. At the moment our financial situation is that I can cover my own living expenses with it. Jonas is using his savings from a couple of years and made this bigger investments so we could buy the land debt-free and build our little house as well. But as time progresses, it will be my responsibility to bring in an income that can support us both for a while, so he can have the time and space for developing his woodcraft and smithing skills. For me it feels scary and exciting at the same time, and the time has come to take my little art business a bit more serious. I'm following some art marketing lessons online and started on a website with a webshop. At the same time, I don't want this to be my only income stream. So another possibility would be to open up a little cabin for guests next year or to start a small-scale market garden. I also made a print rack to showcase the work in a more convenient way.
Dat kan ik niet neerzetten. So whilst I was making stock and printing orders for people, Jonas started to feel sick. He had just finished making a foundation for our stove with heavy stones and thought he had perhaps overdone it a bit. He felt tired and had a headache.
It didn't go away and intensified during the following days. We went to the doctor to take a blood sample for testing on Lyme disease, as ticks are abundantly present here in the forest, and it sounded as a plausible explanation. He stayed in bed most of the time. The test returned negative. The headache stopped after a while, but now a painful tooth infection came up that knocked him down again, and he spent more days in bed. Meanwhile, I spent much time on my own in the garden. Noops, the little dog from the neighbors, is now on a leash at our home and can't come much anymore. But the beauty in the garden has served as a pleasant company. It's such a journey of discovering throughout the summer to see what comes out of the little seeds you've planted in springtime. Work on the house came obviously to an halt. I'm not too worried about it. It is what it is, if it takes longer than expected. I managed to refresh our pathways with a new layer of wood chips and made some more garden beds and got our wood supply in order for the coming winter. After 9 days, Jonas finally started to get better and more energized. But then life throws some surprises at you. One evening he became so ill again, it became a bit scary. Headaches and fever were torturing him, and he was so restless. In the morning, after a sleepless night, I brought him to the hospital. It was unbearable at this point. On the way he started losing feeling in his hands and legs. They took him in on the emergency and told me that he had to stay at least 3 days to see what's going on. It took 5 days of waiting for a diagnosis. He had meningitis. Another 4 days later they found out it was from a tick that caused encephalitis and had started the infection, even though the first results were negative. All this time visiting him was not allowed. He spent more days in the hospital, and all this time visiting him was not allowed. His condition went up and down, and there was nothing much they could do in the hospital, only wait for his immune system to take over. It was very unsettling, and it knocked me off my focus. But after the restless first days with much unknowns, I slowly found a rhythm on my own. In front of the greenhouse, I'm doing a little mid-ladder method experiment. I'm always on the lookout to improve my gardening methods.
So here in front of the greenhouse I'm doing a little experiment with a new gardening method I just learned about. So in this case I made some wooden boxes and I just filled it with earth from what I'm digging out of the pond. And in this method they provide the plants with a weekly nutrient mix that you have to mix yourself. It's a recipe that you can follow. So, and they also have this automatic watering system, which is really intriguing. But so far I'm just testing out what kind of results I get with these little kale plants of cabbages.
I'm really passionate about growing our own food. I see it as a pleasant challenge to grow as much of it as I can and learn how to prepare, cook and store it. For me, beauty works as a form of self-care. It makes all the difference in the world to be surrounded by beauty, a reminder of the sacred in tougher times.
So here is our little seed house. I have some more seedlings waiting here to be planted out for the autumn garden. Mainly cabbages and kales and some asparagus plants that are becoming bigger. I also have some perennial flowers here. It's quite wild here in the greenhouse. Plants are taking over. Although I'm cutting back the tomatoes as much as I can, they already are reaching the top of the greenhouse. This is where we have our temporary shower at the moment. We're planning to build another greenhouse next year and have inside there another bathroom, like an outdoor shower bedroom area that will be cozy and warm. With this shower here. Here are some oats drying. I planted some oats in one of my beds. So in front of the house we have our future swimming pond. I'm digging out the material out of here and I'm using it while I'm making new garden beds, so that nothing goes to waste. I started on the other side of the swimming pond with digging, so now it's slowly getting form. Over there we have some temporary water storage because we were not sure that our old well that we have here on the land will be sufficient this summer, because it's such an old well and it's not going very deep. We were not sure it's gonna give us water throughout the summer, so some extra storage there. But so far so good. Still have water and it has been really warm, hot and dry weather actually. So this is the first year we have a garden here in this place. I started in March with making garden beds and I used mainly the no-dig method with cardboard and compost. And in front I built 2 hugel cultures with rotten wood and organic material that we had to clean up on the land. And I've planted some pumpkin plants on the first one, and they completely took over in a short time. And actually they already seem to be quite ripening, which sounds so early to me. Maybe it's because of the long days we have here and the hot and nice weather. The second bed are mainly flowers, perennials, annuals. I have some zinnias and cosmos planted in here. And some basil and yarrow. Another pumpkin here, going crazy. And on the end here is a little cucumber plant. And they are starting to ripen. Those are the crystal lemon cucumber, I think its name is. So alright. Here to the right I have some spinach, some leeks for the winter, and I'm growing some more asparagus plants from seeds this year. So hopefully we can plant them out this autumn to take over the hugelbed. I have some small tomato plants there, and here all kind of herbs. Basil, parsley, some beets. I sowed in some carrots here, waiting for them to come up. Some bush beans, I think they're called in English. Cherry tomato. Some lovely smelling sweet peas. Over there you can see the chicken coop that is still waiting to be finished up. It has been so warm these days. Today it's gonna be 30 degrees again, and this is such a sunny spot, so it's hard to work in the sun outside during the day. Over there is my cutting garden bed. It's almost completely filled out now. Some beautiful cosmos. This is foxtail grass. Such huge flowers. And here are the sunflowers. There is another variety here in between. This one is called Teddy. Very cute. And this one was planted really late. And they are more like orange and red sunflowers. Really beautiful as well. And on this side I have two potato beds. They're slowly starting to turn yellow. Let's see what the harvest will be. They completely took over the path, at least. The pathways in between. Here is my sweet corn.
I've planted them in a succession, so it goes from the oldest to the middle to the latest in the back. And there is some pumpkin growing underneath. They seem to be liking this hot weather.
Whilst I was editing this video, Jonas came finally home again after 10 days in hospital. He is still very tired and has difficulty with keeping his balance, which are normal after effects of the infection, but he is super glad to be home again. I want to thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.